Good evening. How you doing? How do I look? Do I look pretty? I'm feeling pretty. See how my earrings are dangling. Okay. I watched Elevator Baby the movie, and I mean that's why I'm here again to talk. Talk is what I do for a living these days, right? You see, when we look at movies, I'm not a movie person. I hardly find the time to see a movie from the beginning to the end. Even when I go to the cinema, halfway into the movie, I'm pressing my phone and working and sending my emails and things like that. Yeah, but I watched Elevator Baby early hours of this morning, and it got me thinking. Like, I watched it from the beginning to the end, first and foremost, and more than just entertaining me. You know the part where Timini was stuck in the elevator and then he had to call his friends, like the closest people to him. Anyways, the guys, I can't remember their names because I didn't like the part they played in the movie, but where he had to call those guys and how unreliable they were to him when he needed them the most. I thought about it and I related it to real life, guys, and it got me thinking about networking, the importance of your network. Already I say to people that the greatest human resource that you can have, or rather the greatest resource that you can have, is human resource. But then it has never been clearer to me than today. It was just like a reawakening for me. So guys, your network is your net worth. I know you've heard this a number of times and you're like, okay, cliche, I've been hearing this, but maybe we need to relate it to real life circumstances and situations for you to understand. I say to people every time, yes, we need money. That's why we're all working hard. I love money. Anybody who knows me knows that I like money. I love money. I love the good things of life, and I love to be able to afford them, not just when I need them, when I want them as well. I need to be able to take a luxury trip for the fun of it, for just relaxing. Yeah, so I'm not against having money, but I need you to think and remember, money is good, but money doesn't have legs. Money isn't going to show up for you in some situations of life and death. I'll explain to you. I say this all the time to my team and the people around me. Hi guys, see how I'm glitching? I just fine anyhow this evening. Sorry, back to serious business. So I say this to anyone who cares to listen. Like, money isn't going to stand up and work for you sometimes. What do I mean by this? Let's say you live in a mansion somewhere on an island, and maybe you have just like a housekeeper who lives with you. Depending on your relationship with this person, if there's ever a day when you do not get out of your bed early and come out early for breakfast as usual, depending on your relationship with this person, you may have collapsed inside your room and passed out, and who you need at that time is a human being who can take the right decisions, who can think for you, and can have you transported to a hospital for urgent medical attention, or calling people who can do that for you. Now, if this housekeeper of yours is someone who you have a very terrible relationship with, he might not even come to knock on your door and check what's wrong with Madame Olga and why Madame Olga hasn't come out yet. And if he does that, or she does that, and she's not someone whom you've got a good relationship with, she could come in and see you in distress and literally just walk out. Like, walk out on the situation and run away from the house. Again, if it's someone who doesn't think well, who isn't a smart thinker, he or she will see you in distress and take the wrong decisions that could cost your life. It will take someone who cares about you, not only cares about you, but has the ability to think properly, to come in and see you in a life or death situation like that and take the right decisions that could save your life. Take the right decisions to get you in a car, get people to assist you, transport you to a hospital, eventually get you Medicare. It is only at that point that your money can start working for you. Your money in the bank is not going to stand up and come and pick you up from an emergency in your house. Your money in the bank does not have mouth, ears, hands, cannot see, cannot feel, cannot understand that you're in a bad situation, guys. So this was just like a small explanation of why you need people. Like you saw in Elevator Baby. So Timini is talking on an elevator with a pregnant woman. So he calls the guys who's supposed to be one of his closest friends, and that one is high on skunk or whatever it is, and so he sits there and he thinks it's a joke and it's fun and games as usual, and his friend could have passed out. But why did he call this guy? Those are the guys who were living off him and blowing his money when there was money. So those were his goons, in quotes. This brings me to all of you in my industry, in the entertainment industry. Note, this video is for everybody, but I'm going to bring it back home a bit to the industry where I operate. Guys, you need people. You need network. Who are the people that surround you? There's a saying that you're a product of the 5 people who you spend the most time with. Who's on your team? Do they inspire you? Do they challenge you? Or is all that they do is to hype you, and are they yes men who just say, go boss, you got it man, guy, you know, whatever you do, you're being stupid, and they are clapping. They are clapping because they do not know better. All of you are blind together, and you're gonna go into the gutter together, and we're gonna look at you and laugh. Or are they people who call you to order when you need to be called to order? Are they people that compliment you so your weaknesses are their strengths? Are they people who are sincere? Who's going to remember you in that room when you're not in the room and there's an opportunity? Who's going to remember to call your name? No one ever became successful from being an island. And I mean this. So please, try to build the right network around yourself. Carry the right people around you in your team. It could make or it could mar you. Which of the examples would I give you now that would make sense to you? Hold on, I'm gonna check my notes. Even though it seems like we are just gisting, it took me some time to prepare some points. Yes, so like I was saying, you need allies. You need people, you know, who are going to remember you when you're not in that room and there are opportunities that could involve you. And you need to also remember that relationships are nurtured. Relationships are give and take. It's a symbiosis. So if you're one of those that likes to collect and collect and collect, but that collect, keep collecting, people are going to stop picking your calls. They're going to start running away from you very soon. Why? Because nobody wants a leech in their life. Not in 2020. Not even in 2010. You need to be bringing some value. If you want to sit on the table, you need to be bringing something to that table. Did you hear me? If you want a place on the table of men, the table where decisions are made, you need to be bringing something to the table. Otherwise, you need to build your own pretty table and invite people to the table to dine with you. I mean, everybody loves a free lunch, literally. But so back to serious business, right? I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, about a decade or a bit above a decade ago, when I used to work for Kora All Africa Music Awards, you know, we had I met quite a number of important people. Because of work ethics, I would not go out of my way to try to be too familiar with these people or speak when I'm not spoken to or cross my lines. But I did understand the importance of keeping a good relationship with them. And I remember vividly how I would remember to send happy birthday messages to the boss of Gearhouse South Africa, literally the biggest event logistic team in the world, who used to play a very important part in the setup for the Kora All Africa Music Awards. Guys, in case you were born recently and you don't know Kora, it used to be our African Grammys. Back in South Africa, I did a bit in West Africa, before life happened, I'll rather say. So I remember how I nurtured the relationship with Offa. Besides the fact that whenever he came on any of the projects, he saw my zeal to work, my vibe at work. Forget it, or forget makeup and bling bling. When it gets to my work, I don't joke. I work even as the boss. Well, what's the boss? That's the name people used to confuse us to collect our money. Even as the head of the team or as the CEO of the company, I work like the errand girl. When I get to work, forget fine girl, I work my out. So Offa knew my work ethics. Combined with my work ethics, I made it a point of duty. It was part of my job, but I used to make it personal. So to keep a good relationship, I'll send those birthday messages. When you're on a project, I'll check on your hospitality. When you get back, there's always that follow-up mail to say, so how did it go? How was your trip back? Are you guys okay? Is there anything you would like me to know about, you'd like us to handle in case of further other productions to come in future that weren't properly done at this time? You know, the vibe, right? So when I left Cora a few years later, and I had to send my sign-off mail to all the clients that I worked with on behalf of the company to say I'm no longer with the company. You needed to deal with XYZ person in future if you needed to contact the company. I got feedback emails from so many of the people. You know, some of the clients wanted to know what happened, you know, where are you living, are you going to be okay, and all of that. Of course, work ethics, like I keep saying, I wasn't going to mention what my real reasons for leaving were to them, but I remember I got a mail, like there was a general mail from Gearhouse. Then there was a particular mail from the boss of Gearhouse South Africa saying to me, you know, it was awesome meeting a young lady with the kind of vibe and zeal that you have, and please note that if you would ever want a job with Gearhouse South Africa, we will be happy to take you and even accommodate you in South Africa because we know you'll be new there. Guys, for me, that was a kind of validation a young lady at my age needed to know that she was doing something right. But beyond that, right, for the next couple of years that followed, I can say to you unequivocally that my bills, all the big deals that I got that kept me in business, most of the big money I made was made through Gearhouse, because Cora wasn't in this side of West Africa anymore when I relocated back to Nigeria. At any point Gearhouse had anything to do in Nigeria, Ghana and the regions, my company that I had just set up became their rep and liaison around here and their local fixer, and that's how I was making money and meeting people. It all came from nurturing the relationship, simple birthday messages, simple e-cards, simple hospitality with finesse, but knowing where to draw the lines and not trying to be too forward either, so that my principles are clear, you know. Anyways, talk not a full cup. I like to talk, but I like to be sure that people are listening. Moving forward, I'd advise every young chap in the industry, or like I always say, even if you've been there for a while, you could still make a few amends, to build your relationship. A good way to build your relationship and your network if you're just beginning is by interning. I mean, I learned recently from one of my guys in the industry, Lisa Adibor, that even Didi started out as an intern. Oh, your Don Jazzy and the band started out as interns. A lot of the people who you see today that are great names and big stars out there, they started somewhere working under somebody. Some of them are greater than the guys who train them now. Some at least have found their own path and are par. But you know, I see a community of young people these days who want to hammer between night and morning. There's a process. Part of the process is building the right connect that you need to grow. So it's okay to serve in a studio somewhere. It's okay to even enter, a TV station. Your intention was to be an on-air presenter, but how you found your way into the TV is maybe from being a production assistant or whatever. You want to be an actor, but you start by being the runner on a set of a movie. Slow and steady. You're going to learn the ropes of the job, and you're also going to meet people who will realize how good you are, and then by the time you grow and you're of age, they will want to do business with you. That's how it works, guys. There's no two ways about it. For me, I'm not yet where I want to be, but guys, it's been over a decade and I've been acing all my productions and my clients keep coming back. So to an extent, I'll say I've been successful, even though I have to say that myself. How have I done this? Over the years, surrounding myself with the right people. I got a lot of bosses in the industry who I can walk into their office at any point in time and say, boss, I need you, and they'll have no option but to drop what they're doing and listen to me. It comes from years of nurturing. It comes from years of going out of my way for them. It comes from years of making them also see that they need me. I bring a solution as well when it's needed. And whenever they give me a responsibility to handle, I go the 10th mile. I'm not even going to say I go the 9th mile. So all of you, there is no such thing as overnight success. No one is an island even when you have all the money in your different fields, and especially in the entertainment industry. You need allies, you need people, you need network, a solid and the right network. While building that network, like I said, remember to add value to these people as well. Bring something to the table. Don't just come to the table and chop free chop and clean mouth and go away. Next time when they see you approaching the table, they're going to do hush 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 and lock the door, and that's going to be it. Even I, as benevolent as I am, I don't want anybody leeching on me. Okay, I'm tired. I need to go now. I hope you learned something. You did? You didn't? Our business. I've said my own. Always remember, like they say, no man is an island. And like I started this video saying, the biggest resource you need as a person or as a business is human resource. Treat people well, treat people nice, have the right attitude, be good to people. Don't hesitate to hold people's hands to come up the ladder, because when things turn, when tables turn, you just do not know whose hand you will need to hold on to stabilize it.